Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this very special edition of A World Awakening. Co-hosting tonight with me is my star brother, Ken DaCosta. Ken, it's wonderful to welcome you to the show tonight. We have a very specific purpose in being here.
It is very nice for you to invite me on and include me in this tonight, because I know it's something that's extremely important to us and the people that are going to be joining us over the course of this particular show. And it is a very special show because it involves a couple of people who I think I can say mutually that we respect and we love. And some of the things that have been going on that are quite disturbing and unnerving. And I think to this point, out of respect for them, everyone has been relatively silent, not wanting to make things worse or kick the hornet's nest. But there comes a time that you have to pick a hill to die on.
Yeah.
You have to believe in something. And right now, maybe it's time to go on the offensive a little bit. So I will let you tell everybody exactly why we're here tonight, in case that maybe they're not aware yet.
Yeah. Well, all right, here's the thing. Sorry, I'm windblown. It's very, very windy down here in Georgia. All right, so here's the thing. There's two young people that I have known for at least a decade. Met both of them when they were young teens, Cody, DesBiens, and Satori, Hawes. If I were to have ever had children, I would have wanted them to be those kids. They are the most authentic, most genuine, kind, good-hearted, loving. I mean, the list of superlatives could fill our 2 hours. And to see, because of a well-intended video being made and disseminated literally around the world, two of our nearest and dearest are under vicious attacks, and a number of people have just discarded the entire notion of what human decency is and have gone for the jugular with two people that we adore. I've known them, I watched them grow up. And I know for a fact that what they do and who they are is absolutely genuine. And I'm not the only one that knows that. You do as well, as does everyone that will appear on this show to issue their own testimonials on their behalf tonight. I have enormous respect for Satori Hawes and her family, her father in particular, Jason, who is a longtime friend. I didn't even know when I first saw Ghost Hunters investigate the farm a bajillion years ago. I was like, what's this? I didn't even know the show existed. And it's been a long journey. And, here's the thing, Ken, you and I talked about this privately, but I would say probably most of the people that are attacking our dear friends are younger than we've been in this field. I mean, we've been doing this work. We're the old folks, we're the Knights at the Round Table. We're the Light Brigade.
Believe me, I have socks that are older than the...
Yeah. And, I want to use tonight not to stir the pot, but to quell the storm. Mm-hmm. This needs to stop. This is just, hateful and vitriolic in the extreme. And so, first and foremost, because Cody and Satori are so closely connected with our first guest, Jacqueline Nunez, who is the owner of the Conjuring House, I wanted to give her the opportunity right off the bat to come in and speak her piece. And maybe in so doing, we can make some peace in the paranormal world, because this doesn't help anyone. This kind of character assassination hurts them. It hurts us because we love them, and it hurts the field as a whole. And so if we could just bring our dear friend Jacqueline Nunez on to join us tonight.
Hi there.
Hello, darling. How are you? Look at that radiant face.
Nice to see you both. Thanks for having me on here. I'm happy to be here, and always happy to talk about Cody and Satori and the farmhouse. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So I was just listening to your remarks. So when Sam and Colby, I'm going to go a little history here for what happened here. So when Sam and Colby had approached us last spring that they wanted to spend a week at the farm, I always liked Sam and Colby, and I knew in my gut that they were going to be the right social media influencers to begin to get our true story out. And I really do believe that not only did I, but that the spirits chose them as a vehicle to begin to introduce the Conjuring House in ways that it truly is. Separate from its history and your paranormal history, the way that it truly is now. And of course, a big part of that was through communications with Cody and Satori. And I insisted the first day I met them, because I'm like, you guys really need to see what Cody and Satori do. And we have spirits that want to talk to you. So, so I knew all along that it was going to be a powerful thing. I mean, I think already these 4 videos, 50 million views or something. I mean, it's crazy how many views this had. But I knew it would happen. The last Conjuring House video that Sam and Colby put out had 32 million views. Yeah. So I knew that the reach of this was going to be far and wide. Yeah. And so we knew that. Sam and Colby certainly knew that. And I also do want to say 90% of the feedback, though, has been positive, right? So I don't want to skew the audience into believing that it's all negative and they're being attacked. And I mean, they are by a small percentage of people, right, that are making fake videos about their method or accusing them of popping knuckles or cracking ankles or whatever the heck that they're being accused of doing. So it is a small percentage. A vast majority of people, over 90%, it has changed their lives. They're reaching, I mean, we're being bombarded with emails wanting to book Cody and Satori, which of course we're not doing. We don't book them to do that with guests. And they don't do that for guests when they're working there. So I just want to put that in perspective, right? And we're also discovering that there are other people around the world that can do this. We're getting emails, and they're getting emails too, of people that are trying this method and it's working, which I think is also a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah. So those are just my opening statements as just a broad overview of what I think about this. I certainly 100% stand beside Cody and Satori. There is absolutely, and we have hundreds of hours of footage of sessions that I've done with them and I've only known them since May of 2022. You both obviously know them a lot longer. But I've had a lot of intensive sessions with them, and there's just, I mean, it's ludicrous. The information that we've received about the afterlife, about spirits of the house. I mean, there's just no question in my mind that there is anything untoward or fraudulent going on. I'm very committed as the owner of the house that the experiences that people have are truly authentic. We don't fake anything. We will never fake anything. And in fact, we will spend time debunking things when they happen. So I'm, that's part of the integrity that I've wanted to bring to the business. And certainly the method that Cody and Satori brought, they fit into that. So I stand beside them. I believe them 100%. And for those people that, I'm not worried about losing business over this. If people want to have that much hate in their hearts, for what they believe they are doing or not doing, then those are not the type of guests that I want to have at the Conjuring House. Yeah. So,
if I could, Annie, a couple of points building on what Jacqueline just said. The first is we discussed this, how we wanted to come, and Jacqueline is absolutely right. Don't misunderstand that the vast majority of comments and messages that they get have been very supportive. which is why I think that the way we're approaching this tonight is so not so much to thumb our nose at anybody or get back at anybody, but to let the people know who do support them that their support is not misguided, that
good point.
It's appreciated. And we're going to show some video tonight of some of the things that have happened that maybe can convey the legitimacy of this, because they weren't discovered by Sam and Colby. They weren't invented by Sam and Colby.
Right.
This has been a long time in doing different things for them. The other thing that does bear mentioning, ladies, if you just allow me this, is we see the dark side of social media. And I know it's a vocal minority, and that usually makes the most noise. But people tend to look around, and I love it because, you get so many likes and clicks, and then they complain about getting likes and clicks and subscribers when they're trying to build on it to do it for themselves. So people like to insert themselves into the conversation, looking around for hot takes, what's trending, what's controversial. It's laughable to me when I see some of the people who have this eureka moment. It's like, I've cracked the code. I've got it. This is how they're doing it. And you can't help but laugh, but it's difficult because I'm not going to speak for them, but I'm sure that they understood that people are going to say, I don't believe it, which is infinitely fair. That is fair. That's not a problem. The problem is, as I said in the opening, when it comes down to character assassination and taking advantage of people. And, the thing that bugs me, and I'm going to be honest, is when people write in poor Sam and Colby, how they got taken, but poor Sam and Colby. And that probably drives me crazy more than anything, because everybody else is off the hook and everything, all the vitriol is aimed at these two kids, regardless of whatever the percentage is. It goes beyond, I don't believe, and it goes to something much stronger. So,
yeah, it's almost like a kind of, I don't know, it feels like a peer thing. Or I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's relegated to one age group or not, because, the thing about this little keyboard in front of us is that you can be anonymous.
Right. That's right.
Put anything out there about anything. But I suspect that a lot of this is coming from younger people that are being almost programmed in today's, day and age to either get sucked in or to, be, come into this world not just skeptical, but cynical.
Yeah.
They know how to play this game.
Yeah, they do. I think they were born knowing how. And we old folks are like, what's Control E? Go, what? Control Alt? What is what? What's that? My intention to do this show tonight with all of you was to project more light and less heat. It would be very easy for me to just sit here and, talk about trolls and talk about, what we already know exists in this field and every other, really. But, here's the thing. I grew up in that house that Jacqueline now owns and lovingly cares for, and only brings the very best people in too, in terms of how it is represented out in the world. But Cody and Satori have been doing this for years with you, Ken, in multitudes of different locations. Okay. It's like wherever they go, there it is. It happens, and why? Because spirit surrounds all of us all the time. Mm-hmm. I know that spirit exists. I know that. I don't have to convince anybody of anything. I don't care who believes me.
Right.
I gave that up at least a decade ago, or I would never have written the books. I believe in karma. And I want to just draw a quick analogy here. And this is how I see this unfolding. And it sickens me when the Conjuring film was released, some lunatic, based on a fictional story, based on something that Ed and Lorraine Warren wrote in their case files 50 years ago, destroyed Bathsheba Sherman's gravestone because they vilified her in the film. That stone stood there peacefully in the village cemetery in Harrisville since 1885. There is no longer a headstone there because it was desecrated again and again. And there's no point in putting it back because it will be desecrated again based on a fictional film where she's the bad guy. And that's insanity to me. And when it happened the first time, I made a video and I said, okay, here's the deal, folks. I don't know who did this, but she does. And woe be unto you. I don't have to touch this because there's this thing called energy, spirit, karma, call it whatever you want. But I believe that what you put out in this life and in this world comes back to you. And it comes back to you to bless you or heal you or haunt you. And so that's the way I feel about this. And yes, I'm very angry about it, but I can't afford to spend 2 hours with my blood pressure going through the roof because there's a segment of the population that is just so aggressive and filled with ridicule and a mean-spirited attitude toward everything. And they're just targeting these two conscientious, loving, giving souls who are the last people on earth to deserve it. And it makes me very angry. And that's why we're here tonight. But I'm going to try really hard to quell my anger and speak about this in terms of light and love. And let's use this as an opportunity to learn to be better people.
Which is why I say that, gear it toward the people who support them and not give oxygen. Right. We're not here to stir things up or, give oxygen to people who are just trying to, be a voice out there.
I mean, they didn't ask for this gift.
No.
It has been entrusted to them, this gift that they are now generously giving freely, and they are not taking money for it. It's all, I mean, it's a very generous thing that they do. Like they didn't ask for it, and they're not other than the pleasure of helping people, they're not really getting anything out of it. I mean, the pleasure of helping people.
Yeah.
So it bothers me, right? That, I mean, this is, they've been chosen for this, just like I think other people are discovering that they've been chosen for this, or other ways of communicating with spirit. There are many ways, we all know, to communicate with spirit. This is one of their methods. I think the one thing that probably hurts me it isn't so much the anonymous people behind the keyboard spewing their hate, although that's hurtful. I've been distressed by people that have been in their lives that have turned their back on them. Mm-hmm. That I think is most hurtful for me, to observe that hurt, right? That people that they thought were friends have abandoned them. I think that's the hard part for me, to witness that.
It's also a way to find out when you face this kind of adverse situation in your life. It sure does tell you who your friends are.
Who your friends are, yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I mean, there is, everybody needs to understand as human beings behind this, not everyone is a two-dimensional figure on a cell phone or a TV show or a YouTube video. There's living, breathing people behind this, and words can wound you. Like I said, I don't think that anyone is upset if someone does not believe in this, but
right. That's right.
Don't care.
The idea, the links, because, I hate to speak for them, but I'm sure they anticipated that. But I don't think they probably anticipated videos being dedicated to discredit them.
Yeah.
I mean, literally videos, where people are demonstrating what they think it is, and
Yeah.
everything from microphones to toe popping to,
But
some of the most ludicrous things out there.
And not one of them has been in a room with them to experience that.
You just made the point I was going to make.
Yeah.
And we live in a world where
If you took a poll, it would be 100% of those people have never been in their company for 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Yeah. Not seen any of this in person at all. But, we live in a world where there are people among us that don't feel tall unless they're standing on the broken bodies of their victims. And that, I think, speaks a lot to our society and what we need to mend, what we need to address and mend. Because, as I have always said, bottom line, love is the answer to every single question. And anybody that knows them, really knows them, there is no question in their mind that these two are incapable of perpetrating a fraud. I don't think it's hardwired into their, it's not in their DNA. It's just not baked in there. It's not.
Let's walk that just a little bit further as I've thought about this, how they're, all right, they're popping their ankles and okay, but they're delivering information. So I just want to walk through a scenario, right? Because there have been times when there have been 6 people in a room or 8 people, and they give a reading to every single person. Yeah. Imagine the research it would have to take and the memory it would have to take as they're popping their ankles and toes to say, Aunt Betty goes with Paul over here. Uncle Lewis goes with Karen over here. I mean, come on. Who has that capacity to pop joint and then memorize, and I mean, we all know that Cody has struggled with memory issues since he's had cancer. So that puts it all on Satori, right? That she would have to do this research, deliver all of the specific information while popping their toes and ankles.
It's ludicrous.
It's ludicrous. It's absolutely, and walk across the room with it's ridiculous.
I know these kids, and if it wasn't for each other, they couldn't find their glasses or their car keys.
It's true.
I know this.
It's true.
Because there's always something left behind at my house. So no, we're talking about 2 brilliant kids, but we're not talking about criminal masterminds.
Yeah, you have to be idiot savants to right? Like,
no. We have to.
We love them. They're very smart. But
right. On the way over, we have to look this up and we have to commit it to memory because we can't be on our phones while we're doing this because that would give up the ghost. Yeah. So we can't do this. So, I mean.
And we have to remember which person goes and which detail of that person goes with which person. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it is, it's absolutely ludicrous. Yeah. And that they should be ridiculed when I would say more than hundreds, thousands of people have been in their presence while this happened. I mean, speaking for myself, I was able to, and we've got all of this filmed, Jacqueline. We did this last year at the farmhouse when my sister April came through, who tragically died in 2016. And after 5 or 6 years, ratted herself out with 5 words about a Christmas gift that she left for her dog under the tree.
Right.
Absolutely blew me away. I mean, we all knew she did it, and she's a very powerful spirit. But she told on herself through them. She just recently told them to tell me to play The Rose for my mother, Bette Midler's song, which was April's favorite song because she thinks that it will help her. as she's
Aw.
beginning to make her transition.
Aw.
These are people's real lives, and
Yeah.
people are being hurt. People are being words, Ken's right. Words are weapons. Words declare wars. This doesn't need to be that. There are plenty of people out there who really legitimately lie, cheat, steal, defraud.
Yeah.
Geez, how about we target that behavior and
Right.
call that out? This is
Yeah, and they're not even making money off of it. Like,
No.
what's the point?
no. And even if
No,
they were,
Jacqueline,
I'm not
it's
going to
like-
apologize for selling my
Yeah,
books.
Exactly. No, that's right. Even if they were, you're absolutely right, Andrea. You're absolutely right.
It's I've probably spent more hours around them doing this. Jacqueline is catching up to me for sure. But there have been sessions, I'm sure, at the Conjuring House that no one's ever videotaped, no one's ever seen. They're done in private. There have been investigations we've done that no one will ever see.
Yeah.
We have documented them, but these are private cases in people's homes.
I videotaped everything. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not for consumption.
That's
No
right.
one's ever. So when people say, try this, hold up 2 fingers behind your back and have the spirits tell you how many, it's like, well, now you're asking for parlor tricks. My favorite part of those videos was in the studio when a spirit refused to do the Zener card thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, that signified the response was, I'm here. I'm here.
It's disrespectful. It's not a dog and pony show.
Right. So it's, we talk about respect and intention all the time. And I like to think that they're not stupid on the other side. And they know when they're being appropriated and when the intention isn't good. And then it's time to stop. But unfortunately, people seize on something like that. Aha, they didn't do the cards. That must have been it. And it's like, trust me, there have been more incredible things that have happened than simply how many fingers am I holding up? Okay. And we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Well, I should jump. Thank you so much for having me and let me say my piece. So
you're welcome, and it's wonderful to see you. We were just together a couple of weeks ago. It feels like it's been too long already.
I know, it feels like it's been a month already. It was like
no.
Halloween was just a couple of weeks ago. It's crazy.
I know. Well, I'll be back soon whenever you ask.
All right. All right, you guys.
I will be around up there this weekend, so I hope I see you then.
Yeah, no, I'm going to see you. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, very good.
All right. Thank you so much.
We'll catch up, Jacqueline.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. We've got Reed and Aaron in the queue. Do we not? Could they come on together and we can all talk together because they both work at the house? And
just wanted to let everybody know we do have people in queue, and we're going to try to work our way through this. Ace Aceto is with us.
Oh, great!
And Jonathan is with us, so we'll kind of work everybody in. But thank you ahead for your patience, because I know everybody would like their say, and so we'll get to it.
Okay, well, everybody knows Aaron. I believe most everybody knows Reed. You've been on my show as a guest. Aaron runs my show when I'm not around to do it. And both of you are employed at the farmhouse. And I want, ladies first. And, she's a little older than you. So ladies first.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Thank you.
I want you to be able to say what you want to say, Aaron, knowing Cody and Satori, having hosted them in your own home down in Florida, having spent that kind of private time with them. You know them as, the wonderful people that they are. And so I would like you to say whatever you want. The stage is yours.
That's scary. I think I've been, as most of you know, just picked up and put on this very fast moving paranormal train, and had the opportunity to meet Cody and Satori last year with Ken on a private investigation they did in Massachusetts. So it was my first time seeing this method in person, and my brain just instantly it always explodes anytime I get to watch them do their thing. So I've seen it.
Me too.
It's like it never gets old, right? So that was the first time I met them in person. We talked a little bit online. And so that was my first investigation, and was obviously my first time meeting them. And I think the thing that struck me in walking around the place we were at was I happened to see a sign of a person, because I got pulled over there for a reason. And they came in from a huge room, came in from the other end of the room, hadn't even been down to our end of the room yet. This person had a very unique nickname, and they start doing their thing, and they don't know that this sign's over there, and they're getting this nickname and other dates. I mean, at one point we were running all over this 4-story building trying to find a plaque with a specific name on it that the spirit had said somebody donated in his honor. So that was my first experience with them. And then I started doing some of the Rise Up investigations with Ken in Dead Air, and got to know them a little bit better. And then fast forward, they came down to St. Augustine back in March for just a few days. I didn't tell anybody they were coming, just so that they could enjoy their own time as normal people. Yeah. So I get asked a lot, one of the first things I got asked was, how often did you have them do their thing in your house? 0. Well, why not? Because they're on vacation, and I think a lot of us who know them on a personal level, outside of what you see on whether it's Ghost Hunters or YouTube or whatever, we are very well aware of the energetic cost to the two of them.
Yes. That
not a lot of people discuss. So it's kind of like watching a battery drain, right? And the longer these sessions go for them, the more energy it just sucks right out of them. And so I think a lot of people are very unaware that this does cost them physically. For him, it's in his shins. His legs will hurt really bad. For her, it's her crown chakra. So, but since then, I've obviously taken on a job at the farm. And again, I don't ever ask them to do their thing. I've seen it enough times in person now. And I think the thing that I love the most about what they do is the organic nature with which it occurs. If you show up at an investigation with Rise Up or an event where they're investigating and you don't know that, and all of a sudden your family members are coming through, you weren't expecting that. You didn't ask for that. You didn't know that was going to be a thing. So that I think is such a powerful statement of the testament of what they do. And I think my second favorite thing, aside from getting to watch it myself in person, is watching other people watch it in person.
Yes, I know. Isn't that great? It's so great.
It is. I'll explain, people will ask me often, where is it coming from? And I'm like, everywhere. It's not just in the floors. It's the spirits are coming in and out of the rooms. They're walking around people in the room. They all seem to have their own tone. Reed, you can attest to this too. I mean, all of you can attest to this. Each spirit seems to have their own specific sounding knock. And so when they're talking on the other side, it's different sounding knocks, and it's super fast, and it's all happening at once. And it's like they're having a conversation over there. You can't recreate that. You can't make that up. So I've seen it enough. I've witnessed the power of this. I mean, they did this in the St. Augustine jail, concrete walls. I've seen it in a lot of situations. I think the thing that's hardest for me that everybody else has hit on is that these are human beings. These are our friends. These are people who have put their heart and soul into this method and learning about it and are still learning about it. And they've put themselves out there and they're getting absolutely eviscerated for it.
Yeah.
They've done nothing wrong.
I think we're going to bring Reed in, but while we're on that, I want to dispel a couple of things. Number one, some of the comments with, people, well, they're always standing and rocking. There's something mysterious about it. Ladies and gentlemen, they've been sitting on my couch, holding hands, and my floor starts tapping. I got to tell them, guys, please knock it off. They
touch the dog and it happens.
They've sat at my kitchen table, okay, and the floor starts knocking. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it. They've sat on an airplane flight, and the floor starts tapping on the airplane, okay? Mm-hmm. Erin just alluded to Bernie, her dog. The dog is sitting between them on the sofa. They're not touching each other. They're touching the dog. They're petting the dog, and the floor starts tapping. And we all know what that's like to stand in between them as long as that circuit continues. Yeah. So will the knock. So to all of those who say it's posture or whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen, as somebody who's been with them in all sorts of situations, the back of my car, they're in the back seat, I'm taking them for ice cream, they're holding hands, the floor is tapping. I mean, they've done this on grass, asphalt, concrete, cement. They've done it lying down, sitting up. So it's not posture, it's not positioning. I'm sorry if you've never witnessed that. Okay.
And I hope everybody gets a chance to.
Well,
in
I think we
person,
also
in
people
time.
need to understand as well.
Yeah.
When I say human beings, they're not dancing monkeys either.
Right.
Do tricks for us, do this for us, do that for us. You know, stand on one leg, do all sorts of things. And there's more.
Jump up and down and pat your head. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and there's more I'll say on this, but I don't want to take much more of Reed's time. So let's talk to Reed a little bit here.
Hello.
Hi, Reed.
Hey, Reed.
Good to see you guys. I mean, basically the same thing with what Aaron's saying. I mean, I've had so many experiences with them, and one experience I do want to share was here at the farm. And I have been under them while they've done it. So it was in the parlor, the room that you first walk into from the front door, and I was in the well room in the basement, and they're doing their thing, and I'm under them. And in the well room, there's a window above a little toy box. And clear as day, a woman walks in front of the window, stops, and slowly turns and looks at me. I start freaking out. And here comes Corey running down the stairs. Hey, shut up. We can hear you. It's a haunted house. Get over it. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so Cody and Satori and Corey come down, and they're like, what did you see? And they're like, and I told them, I was like, there's a woman. I said what she was wearing and said, well, we just got word from Abigail Arnold that one of her daughters, Olive Arnold, just went in the basement to work with jellies and jams and preserves. Lo and behold, that's what Olive did when she was alive. And I see her and I describe her to John Arnold. Is this what your daughter's wearing today? And he said, she does like to wear that. So I've seen more than enough. And like Aaron said, it does not get old. When I first met them, my name was not on a list. They did not know I was there. I didn't even know who they were. All I knew was Satori's dad was on Ghost Hunters. That's all I knew. Yeah. And they came in and spelled my last name. That's all I needed.
Which is very hard.
Yeah.
Very
I can't spell your last name.
Look at that.
Exactly. And it's pronounced Bertiger, which you don't hear the O. So they spelled out my last name. My niece came through, who died 3 days after birth. She would now be 4 years old. My uncle, who passed away from brain cancer, came through. My grandfather came through to wish me happy birthday. They don't know my birthday, you know? So to me, I do hope one day all of the naysayers have this chance to experience this, because it truly is life-changing. And watching other people experience this, one of Madison Heinzen's friends, I was in the room when she got to talk to somebody who passed away. And she was bawling her eyes out. And once one person starts crying, you know, we all start crying. And I remember when you were here and April said to play the song for your mom, and your expression and we all started crying when we went back in the staff room because of it. So it truly is impactful. And, you know, it's the internet. People are going to say what they want to say. And it's all about views. It's all about likes. And whatever's trending is what they're going to hop on. So at the end of the day, if that's what people want to think, they are entitled to their own opinions, as well as us. So I can say from my end, this is real from what I've experienced.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Reed, and Jacqueline alluded to this, it's not just the nameless, faceless people who go under a pseudonym, never put their real name on, never put their faces on. These are actually some people that are close to them. Who have bought into the YouTube mania and basically are covering their own asses because it's like, well, what if? I think I'll go on this side now, you know, and maybe I'll straddle both sides.
Well, there's some value in that, though, as I mentioned before, Ken, and that is that Cody and Satori are now at an age where it is beneficial for them to know who's got their back, who really loves them, believes them, has experienced this, knows that it's real. Remember last summer I was coming up, Reed, I think you were there, and somebody was doing a EVP session and said, Andrea's coming to the house today. And they said, we know. And then when I got there, Cody and Satori were using their method, and all the tapping started incessantly. And Satori's like, okay, chill. I can't talk to all of you at once. Let there be kind of like a spokes ghost, And
we got Tori teacher Tori voice. Everybody sit down.
Everybody sit down. Yes. Yeah. She's at that moment channeling the school marm and Lorraine Warren. It was just amazing. I mean, I was sitting on the sofa, and one came through and was going to speak for everyone. And she said how many words. She got 4 taps, 4 words. And the message came through as clear as it could be. We miss your family. And I got so choked up. And then later on, I thought about it, and I'm like, oh, sure, you miss our family. We were like, a nuclear powered generator for all of you. You had 5 little girls to tap into. You had, 2 very vivacious adults to tap into for energy, and, sucked the electricity grid in the house dry. And, it's no surprise that our, big family moving to that house really activated things. But I think that, Erin, you work in energy and healing, and and we all know that energy is everything. It is the source of all creation. It's not created. It does not disperse. But somebody that's putting their energy into decimating the reputation of other people, to me, it's like desecrating a headstone. It's like trying to kill them, reputationally. It's so incredibly destructive. And in a time and an age where we are living in a world on fire with war and hatred and vitriol, it seems to me that, the whole notion of more light, less heat is pertinent. And I want to let it be known to everybody that ever sees this video that for me personally, Cody and Satori are the light. They are the conduits. They are the connection, the direct connection to spirit that I never thought I would live long enough to see. And I have.
Well, and I have to say too, like, this isn't something, and Reed was there for this, and I don't talk about this particular experience mostly because I think I'm still processing it. But something came up for me over the summer. I spent 3 weeks up there this summer. Reed was there for a lot of it.
I remember it.
Yeah, Reed gets a chuckle out of it because it's the only time he's seen me scared to death. But it was something where if it weren't for Cody and Satori, it was a situation that had to be worked out, and it could only be worked out with them. And if I hadn't have been able to work that out with them, I wouldn't be able to work in that house. Right? So the fact that, we were able to sit down and in the house, Reed was there watching me shake as I'm scared out of my mind in that little chair, and work this out with the spirit, I wouldn't be able to work there. I wouldn't have been comfortable to ever go back in that house again. And because of what they are able to do and channel, we were able to work that out. Like, how often can you say that you're able to sit there and hash out an issue with a spirit that had concerns about your presence in the house? And to me, their willingness to have that conversation sort of be the go-between meant a lot to me, because they could sense the fear and the nervousness that I had, and were willing to do that for me. And I think too, the other thing that people miss out a lot with Cody and Satori, because they don't know them personally, is the little things that they do. Like, we have this ongoing war now. Every time I come up, I bring presents. And so now that, they come down, or I go up and they have presents. Like, they're just 2 of the nicest, sweetest, kindest people. And the other thing I want to say, and then I'll stop talking, I swear, is like Halloween, prime example. We've been crazy busy. We had tours all day, and we were having to set up for the movie night, right? So there were only a handful of us at the beginning. There's a lot to do, but as Reed gets there, and then the Heinzens are there, and then Cody and Satori are there, and it doesn't matter who is in the house. We just are like, okay, what needs to get done, and then we just get it done, right? Like, it's just, there's no ego, there's no I'm on TV, there's no I'm better than you from anyone at that house. No. Everyone steps up, everybody works together, because we all have the same intention at that house, and that is to protect and take care of those spirits as best that we're able to, and also look at it as the spirits are part of the Conjuring House team as well. And without Cody and Satori's gift method, they wouldn't be able to be a part of that as much as they are now. If Jacqueline's going to put something and build it on the property, she's going to run it by the spirits too. And because of what they're able to do, the Conjuring House is changing. Reed, you know it better than anybody else. You're there more than anyone else on the screen right now. Things are shifting because they now have a say. But without Cody and Satori's ability, they would never have had a chance to get that say. And I think that's very important to note as well.
And there's a lot of things that have happened at that house that have not been released yet. Reed, you know this. Erin, you know this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that have happened that it is Jacqueline's prerogative to decide when these phenomenal discoveries come out into the world. And, based on, the small percentage of incredibly aggressive, negative, ridiculous attacks on our dear friends, I wouldn't blame her if she wanted to hold some stuff back and hopefully let this die down. And I hope that it does. I just want it to die. I mean, there's legitimate reasons to be upset in the world. This isn't one of them. This is just absolutely ridiculous. This is the kind of thing where you go, wow, there are people that this happens to. This is duplicated with, Jeff Turner and I do a little show called Soul School on Friday nights, and we talk about empathy, the ability to put yourself in the shoes of another person and feel, what they're going through, and maybe imagine that your words are creating damage, and just being able, like, where did that go? Where did human decency and empathy go? It just seems to have evaporated, or is not even instilled in the character of so many people that, give them their, 2 or their 5 minutes of fame online.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a bigger story here, and that eventually we will talk about that, about the destructive force of nature that is the internet. It's just like the atomic bomb. It's like nuclear fission misused can, wreak havoc and do an inordinate amount of damage, but channeled properly can light the world. We need to think about this, I think, as a society. I think that this is something that we should contemplate. And I'm grateful for people like Reed, who is himself a young man. Erin, you're not an old bird either,
But I'm not 22. It's okay.
No, well, yeah, but both of you
soon to be 23. Okay.
Yes, again, Reed, again, 23 again.
That says I'm 8 3/4. Stop that.
7 more days and I'm 23.
See,
My
right?
goodness.
He's going to be 23.
Hey,
Jeez.
listen, a couple of quick thoughts here. First of all, for all of you folks out there who have supported them, and we've got a couple of more guests coming on, we have one thing in common. We have spent hours with these people in their presence in the room, seeing them do different things. We have been there. Okay? So you've got 3 choices, right? Either we've been conned, or somehow we're all in on it. We had a big meeting a couple of years ago where we all got together and planned world domination.
During COVID.
And we said, Cody and Satori, you're at the heart of this, so we can all benefit from this. Mm-hmm. I come from a channel that if a video makes 75 cents, I'm beside myself. Okay, so we're not YouTube moguls who are raking in the dollars. Okay, so now your third choice is that there's legitimate phenomena at work here, and you can pick whichever one you want. And if you think we're being conned, or if you think that somehow we're in on this, I'm here for it. Set me on fire too. That's fine. I'm not budging an inch, and nobody on this screen or that we've had is budging an inch off this, because we've seen more than you, and it goes beyond a 3-arc or 4-arc story on YouTube. No disrespect to Sam and Colby and what they did. I think it was good intentions. But you people out there who support them, you're on the right side. That's all I'll say. You're right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what this is all about, to let you know, stand your ground on this, because you're in pretty good shape. So,
well, and we're leading with love, and that's the difference.
Yeah, that's
Abigail's
right.
biggest message on this.
These are people, Aaron. They don't have publicists and PR people.
They do everything
and
on their
reps
own.
And agents and all of the rest of this. There are a couple of people, Jacqueline put it right. Yeah. This found them. They don't know what the hell is going on. They're still trying to figure it out. I think we've learned a bit more by experimenting. Oh, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we've experimented too. Well, we didn't put it on YouTube, so it can't be true, right?
Well,
right.
There's that YouTube that didn't exist 10, 15 years ago. Didn't even exist. And now it's the be all end all of all media. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't belong in this world.
but I think sorry, go ahead, Reed.
I was going to say, one thing I wanted to go off of was actually with what you said, Aaron, when you talked about how Jacqueline takes in what the spirits say and use it for like the property, for instance. So if any of the people watching this have ever been to the farm and you look at the side of the house, you'll see those 2 freshly planted pear trees and the 2 freshly planted apple trees. Now, people ask, where are those from? This was during a session with Cody and Satori. And when we found that Abigail made pear pie for the kids for dessert, like for Christmas dinner, they cooked pheasant, pear pie, cranberry sauce. And we had this for a Christmas event that we had at the house. We had plates set up with Abigail and John's name on it, and they were so excited that we included them. If we could give Abigail and John a Conjuring Spirits t-shirt, we would. That's the thing. But I respect Jacqueline so much, because she sincerely takes these spirits' thoughts into her consideration, because they were once living people. The movie depicted this place that it was something that it's not. It was so blown out of proportion. And so when people look at it over a screen, they're like, oh my gosh, demon house, that's just what they look at. But when you really visit the house, when you hear the history of it and the stories that we share and what we've experienced, it's so much more different. So I respect Jacqueline so much for what she's done and what she's done with the barn, which you got to see, Andrea. I remember your reaction. And also what she's done on the property with the trees. I mean, that probably meant so much to Abigail and John to have their trees come back ever since the 1800s.
Yeah.
200 years later.
Well, it's living history. You're getting living history at this point. And that is something, I say that all the time. Ken and I have discussed it at length. This is different now. It's not just, oh, are you here? And how did you die? And, all that. And that's still great, because you still need to do that on investigations. But this place, because of Cody and Satori and their kindness and their willingness to gift this to the world, they're starting to peel back layers on this onion at this house. It's already 300 plus years old, and we're really just getting into it. Like, what else are we going to learn?
Yeah.
Right?
What else?
And we only get to learn it leading with love.
Yeah. Well, and how we've only discovered 5% of the ocean, like as a world.
Right.
We've only discovered 5% of the property, Maybe we're just scratching the surface. There's so many more layers to this place that we don't even know about. This case has never been solved, and it might take another 300 years.
I'm sorry, Reed. I didn't mean to talk over you. Honest to God, buddy.
You're good.
We're coming up on an hour. We have a few more guests. Let's keep everybody where they are. Okay, you guys don't have to disappear. I'm going to bring in a little more testimony here. First up, friend of Cody and Story's longtime visitor to the Conjuring House, Jonathan Altieri, joins us now.
Hey.
Hello there.
We are also
Hello.
going to bring in another visitor to the Conjuring House and someone who takes this very seriously in between his comedy bits. We're going to bring in Ace Aceto right now.
Hey,
How are you doing, Ace?
I'm
Hi.
good.
And finally, someone who has probably spent one of the two people who have spent as much time as I have with Rise Up Paranormal, Julie DeMay being one and Mark Purcell being the other. So we're going to
Mark.
bring you folks
Mark.
in.
Hello. Hey everyone, how are you?
Actually, Annie, as I'm here in studio, I got to leave for 2 minutes, so why don't you take care? I'll be back shortly.
Okay,
Ken has
where's
to pee.
Julie?
Just let.
Ken
I
had
gotta
to
head
pee,
out as well.
evidently.
I'm gonna try to get.
You
some
have
sleep.
to head out. Okay, Reed.
Yep.
No,
Hope you
I'm
guys
not.
have a good night.
I will be back.
Okay, Reed said he's got to go.
I'm
Good
outta
night,
here.
Reed.
Take care, guys. Have a good
All
night.
right.
Good night,
Reed.
honey.
Good to
Thank
see you.
Well, he can
Okay,
take
guys.
himself off. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, great.
I'm
All right.
not made of metal. I've bathroom run. You know?
What did I say? He had to
Been here
pee.
for
Did
2
I
hours
tell
of
you not to
testimony.
drink before the show?
Yeah, I've been here for 2 hours of testimony, Your Honor. I need a break. I'll be back.
Okay. Well, Ace, it's so good to see you. Mark, wonderful to see you. I know, Jonathan, you've been to the house many times. So, Jonathan, let's just start with you and say your piece to make peace around Cody and Satori.
So I've known Cody and Satori for a couple of years now, and I used to watch online their method.
Mhm.
And for the first time, it was not this past summer, the summer before. I went to the farm, and I got to witness their abilities in person. And I used to be kind of skeptical of myself, but I would never say anything bad about them, And it's very, very real. I gotta let people know that it's very real what they do. They're not cracking ankles or knuckles or anything. I watched very closely. In fact, the knocking comes from all around the room.
All around, everywhere, from the ether. You cannot pinpoint a specific location for it. You can't.
Nope. And it just mind boggles me. Like, I was looking at, under Cody Satori's video today, under Jason Hawes' video, all the crazy negative comments towards them for just no reason at all. And it just really saddens me. And I just don't understand it. It's like since I've even noticed since we've gone through the pandemic that just all this craziness is coming out of the woodwork.
Everybody
Well, I
needs an
think-
energy clearing.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, really good brainwashing with Clorox.
We need to sage. We need to sage the world.
Sage the world.
Right?
There's not enough
Yes.
sage growing in the world to sage the world right now.
Right.
Oh,
And I mean, it like Jacqueline's been saying, like everyone's been saying, if people don't want to believe that, it's fine. They don't have to. We can't force them. But don't be so aggressive and hateful and saying hurtful things to them. What good does it do?
yeah.
No.
All right, Ken, I have to run off for 2 minutes. I've got something. I've got to check on my mom. Can you pull me down? And I'll let you know when I'm back. Okay.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. All right, Jonathan, you just interrupt the thing. Sam and Colby made a video tonight.
I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah. Not getting into a review of it, but what they said toward the end is they've asked to return and do more testing. and paranormal couple has decided they're going to take some time here, and you can't blame them for that. Unfortunately, of course, you know what the result of that's going to be. People are going to say, oh, yeah, sure, they're taking a break because they just got caught. It's like, no, it's a little overwhelming right now. It's a little overwhelming. And
Yeah.
it could be any of us. All of a sudden, it's the target of, whatever.
Yeah.
If you, with your guys' indulgence, I want to play at least a couple of videos here. Mark is aware of this, so he can weigh on them too. The first one I'm going to play is in 2020, and we were doing an investigation at a Masonic lodge, and this was the first time I had seen this. I was sitting with them in the grand meeting room, and Cody said, hey, Ken, do you mind if we try something? Yeah, I don't care. Do whatever. So they got up, walked to the middle of the floor. They had these looks on their face like, I don't know how Ken's going to react to this. But like they were grinning and smiling. And then they did their thing. They enjoyed, locked each other's arms, and the tap started. So real quick, this is my reaction to it. And I'll tell you what's going on. But just take a look at this real quick, because I know I look like, an idiot in this, like most of us do.
It happens to all of us at least once.
Right. What the hell is going on here? But
Right.
I enjoyed
guys,
it.
it's
So
all legit, okay? And I'll explain on the backside.
Maybe you can walk around. We can't describe, we can't explain it. My dad's walked around us for 45 minutes straight and checked our shoes because he didn't know what this is. That's why I took my shoes off, because a lot of people ask.
I don't want to disturb what you're doing. I'm just, right now, I'm a little flabbergasted.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
we've kept it a secret for 3 years now.
Dude, I'm telling you. So,
Can I ask you something? 1 for yes, 2 for no, okay? You understand? 1 for yes?
Okay.
Wow.
So here's what's happening there. I do a circle around them because I'm standing right over the taps, and they keep moving away from me. So I keep following them. They're right underneath me. I do a 360-degree circle around them. So the taps aren't stationary. They're not. And I did a complete circle following those taps, and at one time you see Satori point where they were now, and eventually I make their way to it. And then for the rest of the night, I'm just like humming.
anybody who says it's their toes, it's their ankles, they haven't witnessed
Ridiculous.
it. They just haven't
No.
witnessed it. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
Until you actually see it in person, you don't know.
You can't
You
explain
really
it.
don't know. Yeah.
You don't.
It's
I'm-
not the same, guys. It is not the same.
No.
It is.
I'm going to show you another one here, and then we'll wait till Annie gets back. But I decided to be a jerk and ask a control question to try to trap him.
Yep.
Okay, and this comes a little bit later, and you'll hear Mark too. He's sitting right next to me. But they contacted a gentleman earlier in the night. We researched his date of death, his next of kin. They were completely spot on, and there was a picture on his obituary. So we asked them to come back because I had a specific question for him. And I was going to try to blow this whole thing up. Much as I love these kids, I wasn't sure if at the end they were just going to go, psych. But this was the control
If
question.
you hear me, can you come in here real quick one last time? Is this John Rogers? Yes, all right. So what is your question while he's here?
So, what was it? Was he police?
Were you a policeman? A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Fireman? He was a fireman. What, was that right?
Trick question.
That was a trick question?
Thank you.
He was a firefighter? Yeah, no kidding.
Well, do you have anything you want to say to him?
Okay, so in his obituary, he was obviously in a parade. He was retired by then, and he had his, fireman's outfit on. Let's get Annie back in here. A fireman outfit on. I know they hadn't seen the obituary, and I know it's like, oh, they could have Googled it. It's like, stop that, please, just stop it. So I decided to ask, the obvious, were you a policeman? And immediately it was like, no, I was a fireman. So these little tidbits of control questions, it's like, folks, they've been asked. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, we've tried, and we've done it for their sake too. The last residential case that I took them on, we jumped in my car and drove to this place. Never told them where we were going. Fall River, Massachusetts. They went in there. They nailed the guy who used to live in the back. His name, he's deceased. They nailed the uncle, who was one of the spirits that were disturbing them at night, of which the wife said, I never liked you when you were alive, so go haunt somebody else. And I said, maybe you should tone that down a little bit. And then a third spirit. So they didn't know where we were going.
Candy, my own personal experience, and you were there for this. I had a family member that came through. Person died over 40 years ago. You cannot find this on the internet anywhere you look. Impossible. I asked even a more impossible question. I said, what's your nickname? They came up with the guy's nickname. He's been dead for 40 years. Nobody knows the nicknames of very close members of my family. Cody, Satori do not know my family. They've never met, well, like you said, they met my parents later on, but not that early on. So
I want to also, because Annie wasn't here for this, Ace as well had a very profound experience. I think I'm speaking for me. I've had family members come through. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Ace was there one night, and he had a profound experience too.
Ken, if I can just start by saying, first and foremost, I'm a comic. I'm a comic who does a comedy podcast. And a couple of years ago, we had a former Rise Up Paranormal member, Tom Stewart, who is also a comic, on the show. And he came in. I thought it would be cool during October to have kind of a spooky guest. And he came on and he played some EVPs from different investigations, not necessarily Conjuring House. And it scared my co-host to the point where I thought it was a great idea to moving forward every year in October, or as I call it, Scottober. We have paranormal guests. We've had Ken. We've had Andrea. We've had Tom. And I never thought I would actually get Scott to an investigation. But we started with the Payne House here in Coventry, a mile from my house a few years ago. And then I don't know how it happened, but we got him to the Conjuring House this past February. I thought it was going to be funny because Scott would be scared. And then I had an experience that I absolutely was not expecting. Now, to set this, because I'm sure, Ken, you're going to probably play the clip. I was not, we didn't know Satori and Cody were going to be there. And even though we had Cody and Satori on the podcast to talk more about their paranormal museum and their artifacts, we had no idea they were going to show up. They weren't supposed to be there that night at the house. And then they showed up. And as we were investigating, it wasn't at the beginning, it wasn't at the end, it was kind of in the middle. People were walking through the living room. And as I was walking through the living room, this encounter happened. And I immediately that night texted Satori's dad, Jason, and said, your daughter just freaked the shit out of me. And he got back to me the next day and said, she tends to do that. And I met up with him the next night, and he explained to me that this doesn't just happen to people that they know. This has happened on investigations in Nebraska and North Dakota and places that they've gone on ghost hunters where they don't know anyone there. They go in completely blind, because I honestly couldn't describe this. I couldn't explain it. And the one last thing I'll say, because I know you guys, don't have a ton of time. Last night, I never get into it with people on the internet, but I actually got into it with someone on the internet who was kind of disparaging Cody and Satori. And I said, you know what? I don't care if you've seen a video of Cody 10 years ago where he was doing taps. It doesn't matter. They're not claiming to be the first people that have heard tapping. Unless you've been in the room with them, then don't armchair quarterback. You have no right. If you come in the room and see it, because you know what? It's coming nowhere from near their feet. It's coming from the other room. It's coming from all around the room. So until you're in the room with them, do not judge these people. And all right, I'm off my soapbox, so I'll let you go, Ken. Right. Sorry. I just hate the fact that oh, you don't?
Well, no, what happened is it got overlaid audio double, so it's just like an echo.
Oh, all right. All right.
The original still exists. My bad. I screwed it up.
I could have sent it to you, but I can explain what happened. Yeah. We were walking through the house. We were walking through the living room, and all of a sudden, we heard taps. And they had already started this session that we didn't know was going to happen. And we heard them say, Kay, and she said, Hank. So we know that there was a young boy named Henry that lived in the farmhouse. So I'm just standing there now, and I'm thinking, oh, this must be that little boy Henry coming through. And then they tap out ACE. Satori looks at me and says, Aceto. Does Hank Aceto mean anything to you? And I said, yes, that was my dad. And they looked and they said, okay, do you have more to say? And you heard taps from all around the room. And they said, they spelled out APRIL. And Cody said, are you trying to say a name? Because they figured maybe it was Andrea's sister, April, who had passed a year or 2 years ago, right, Andrea?
Right. In 2016.
2016. So they thought, Cody immediately jumped to April. It might be April trying to come through. They tapped two taps for no. And Julie in the back of us said, are you trying to say a date? And you heard one tap for yes. And then they tapped out how many digits? 2. April. And they said, they did their 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. April 26th. Satori looked at me and said, does April 26th mean anything to you? My dad died April 26th of 2015.
Wow.
At this point, I'm shaking. Scott, who I thought I was going to scare him that night, I'm shaking. He's like holding me because he's like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening. Then they tapped out just the beginning, and Satori said, did you transition? Yes. Then out of the blue, they tap out here with mom, and then they said dad. And I'm like, all right. No, when they said mom, I was like, all right, this is BS. My mom's still alive. And dad. And then typed out the names Rose and Henry, which was my dad's parents' names. There was no way. First of all, they didn't know we were going to be there that night. Second of all, they had no idea who to anyone who is trying to disparage them, just be in the room with them one night. You may not have the same experience that I had, but I absolutely that night felt like my dad was there. And I wasn't asking for my dad. My dad was not the most emotional, he loved me, but he didn't show love all the time. But at the very end, he said, I love you. And I said to them afterwards, I was like, that's really not kind of my dad. And they said, well, when people cross over, they're different. He's at peace now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how else to explain it, but that was my experience that night. And that wasn't the only experience, but I can tell you those taps came from nowhere near their feet. So anyone says that they're cracking their toes or any stupid shit like that, go in the room with them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get a little bit upset.
No, that's right.
I love it.
But that's
You're in good
that's
company.
what
myself
happened.
back because I've got like the filthy. I make sailors.
Yeah, I know, Andrea, but I didn't know if you were trying to be clean.
I can't help it. Listen, Ace, I have to tell you this story. I know, what time do we have? Okay, we're good.
Plenty of time.
A few months ago, in September during the Ocean State Paracon, a couple of my friends came into town, one from Florida and a producer from LA.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to the farm, and Cody and Satori showed them the method that they have. Now, Johnny, he's an actor, director, or producer. He's Italian and Sicilian, actually. And his uncle came through. And because his uncle's first language was Italian, Cody and Satori had him say the alphabet in Italian.
In Italian.
In Italian. So that they could get the message that needed to come through to him. Now, let me tell you how life-altering this was for this man. This grown-ass man who had never, ever had any kind of a paranormal experience in his life, but is fascinated by the field. And the message got spelled out, and it couldn't have been more precise, including a death date. This was not filmed. This was a private thing that they were doing for these two gentlemen, Michael and Johnny. And he spelled out his name and spelled out the name of Johnny's mother and father, who live in California and who are both very much alive. And then the message was, watching over the family, I'm fine. Okay, now it wasn't until after this was over and Johnny's like in a pile of shaking nerves and tears sitting on the sofa that he struggles to explain that 10 years ago, his uncle took his own life.
Wow.
And his parents are both devout Roman Catholics. And every day since his death, his sister, Johnny's mother, has been praying for his soul because, of course, suicide, according to Catholicism, is a mortal sin. And she was terrified that he was, spending eternity in damnation for what he had done. And Johnny was able to call his parents and say, our uncle came through, Uncle so-and-so, I won't use his name, I don't want to identify him, that he came through and he said that he is fine and watching over the family. Now, to express with words the relief that woman felt having her son tell her that his uncle was just fine on the other side, that he was still watching over them, still with them, still loving them, was life-altering for every one of them, not only him, but his partner and his parents and their extended family. And it was, as far as I am concerned, this is something that qualifies as miraculous. And no one could convince me otherwise. I have seen over and over and over again in their presence what they do and the way they channel as conduits that spirit energy to come through and to communicate directly with us, and to know that communication is filled with intent and intelligence and wherever they are. And they can't seem to tell us where they are, but they can tell us who they're with. And the story about the little boy, Henry, my sister April played with a little boy in that house. And she said he told her that his name was Oliver.
Really?
And so, but then there was another session where they came through and the little boy identified as Henry. All I know is that April is with him now, and that April comes through every single time I am at the farm. April comes through. Now, yes, does she make her presence known here in this house? Absolutely. Down the street at my sister's house? Absolutely. Down in Florida where my father is and my sister Nancy? Yes, absolutely. But she uses the abilities, the gifts of Cody and Satori to make direct connection with me when I am in that farmhouse. And I know people in this field who are considered, there's no experts in this field, but people that are considered as close to that as you get, that have been there and had experiences. Without dropping any names, what I will tell you is that some of the most seasoned professionals in the paranormal field have been blown out of their socks, off their chairs, by what they have experienced in the presence of Cody and Satori, who never knew them, had never met them. It was the first time they came to the house to see me.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just about to skirt around that story if you weren't going to cover that one. Yep.
Yeah. You know, and I don't want, I don't want to divulge too much because that's his story to tell. But what I can say is that that was a life-altering experience for the gentleman that I'm speaking of, as was the uncle coming through in Italian, speaking his truth of his existence wherever they are. You know, to me, I used to always say, it doesn't matter to me who they were, that they still are. That's what matters to me. But it does matter who they were, because by experience, and Mark, I know you've dealt with a lot of this too, especially working with Rise Up. You see that when people cross over, they do retain their character, their intellect, their ability to communicate. I have that clip if you have time to show it.
Sorry,
Yes.
I didn't mean to break you away from it. I was trying to be incognito, but I just looked for it and I found it.
Oh, okay, good. Ken, is there a way to put it up full screen?
I can do it.
Oh, okay.
Here. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All these techno wizards.
I know.
And I'm the techno idiot in the house. I don't even know how to use the private chat.
That's what you have an errand for.
I can't, and I'm blind because we're the old folks. Charge of the Light Brigade. There we go.
All right.
All right, you good?
So I think you have to bring it in, Ken. It's in the green room. Well, whoever's moderating the session is
Ken's in charge.
All right.
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, J. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, just. A, B, C, D, E, A, B, B. So he's saying that April 25th was just the beginning, is what he's saying. So is that the day he died? So he's transitioned, and that was the start of something new. Are you trying to say something else? How many words? First word A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, with. Next word A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, M, O, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, mom. With mom. Insert A, B, A. And A, B, C, D, dad. You're with your mom and dad? Okay, that's good to know. Did they come and get you? Yeah. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, R. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. A, B, C, D, E. More to this word? Rose. A, B, A. Is it A? And? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, R, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y. I passed it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H. A, B, C, D, E, E. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, Henry. Rose and Henry.
It's my grandparents.
So they're there too with them. Okay, what else? I'll go fast, so bear with me. How many words? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. He loves you. He wants to let you know that he loves you. Okay. So they just walk away? Hello? Hello? Wow. So that made sense.
My brother and I got matching tattoos after my dad passed away.
What did it say, Kate? Oh.
And
Wow.
So the only thing that I can say is anyone who says that it's fake, that they're cracking their toes or any stupid shit like that, those knocks were not coming anywhere from near their feet. They were coming from all around the room. No one was in the basement below us. There's no way to explain that. And even so, like Ken said earlier, they would have had to literally memorize my father's obituary from 8 years ago to come up with that information.
Let me.
You have to be the most intelligent people in the world to do that.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Or the most deceptive.
Right.
Let me give you a little example because I got a couple of more videos since we're talking about family and stuff. Here's an example of the knockings, how they come into the room. This is Cody popping his toes.
If there's anybody here and you can hear my voice, and you're in this general area, can you please come into the room right now? I'm standing over here. I'm in a pink jacket.
Progressively louder.
Right.
Yep.
And Ken, that same night, if you remember, when we were upstairs in the middle bedroom and we had the REM box or the REM pod, they started talking to Abigail and they mentioned the pears that Mark was mentioning earlier about the pear trees and stuff. They mentioned the pears that Abigail used to like to make things out of. And all of a sudden, there were knocks all around the room as if she was running around the room.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you haven't been in the room, Annie, we got about 20 minutes. Can I give you, I mean, I've got a couple here, but I want to give you one more video. It's a little bit longer. And to me, this is the seminal moment. Not that I never believed them, but when this happened, now, bear in mind, this has happened to me and them 3 times. 3 times where I'm thinking of someone and that person shows up.
Yeah.
Now you could say, "Yeah, bullshit." All right, fine. Then I'm full of it. Then fine. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm willing to die on this hill. Bring it. Bring it. I'm not backing down an inch. But this happened at Payne House, about 4 minutes long. Mark is with me, and I think we're both just shut up and play the video.
Yeah, exactly.
I got names.
I know shit off all me around. You know what I mean?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, K. A, B, C, D, E, Chem. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, D. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, E. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H. A, B, A.
Thank you.
Did you just hear a footstep?
Dog creek or something?
Thank you. No. First word. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
All right, where are we at?
T, H, A.
Yep. You said no.
T, H. Okay, and I'll restart. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
Yes.
Think. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N.
Think.
Think. Thinking.
Thinking. Ken, thinking. A, B, B. About. Ken thinking about. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. A, B, C, D, E.
Me? Ken thinking about me.
Who is this? Is this someone we talked to before?
No.
You okay? Go with this? Alright, somebody's coming through.
No.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U.
Louise.
Louise?
Oh, Louise.
Yeah.
From here, right?
She's got something she wants to say to you.
I said, okay. All right.
How many words?
Who am I talking to right now? Is it Sarah?
No. Louise.
Louise.
Is this Louise?
Yeah.
Louise, I was thinking, I didn't mention your name because I was going to ask about your Sarah's sister, and I was talking about you. So thank you for being here.
Did she read your mind? How is that possible?
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I know, Louise, when you passed away,
Soul Center.
were you 16 years old? Were you 19 years old?
19.
Okay.
And I wish you would have played the video I had.
I apologize for that being so long.
Yeah.
But to everybody out there, look, as we said at the top, when Annie and I were introducing this show is really geared toward the supporters. It truly is. Those of the 90 or more % of you, I love you guys. I'm a believer. Clips like that are for you. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's not misgiven. It's not misfounded. It's you can believe what's going on here. Now, there are 2 other times. They're filmed, but we don't have the time. I don't even know how to break this down, Mark. Because at the beginning, you saw the graphic. I have a name I'm not telling you. And I was talking to Steve Mills next to me. When they came back from break, reading my mind, who I was thinking of. Now, you can talk about Google all you want. Have at it. But this...
I have a video. Maybe I didn't send it to you, Ken. I actually have you on video with your facial expressions.
I know.
When it happened. You belong in Hollywood.
Why? What?
I know.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think so much of the power and what they do, and I think this ties directly in with Ken's experiences because I've seen the one with the Stanley Hotel spirit as well that came and found you somewhere in New England, is it also gives credence to the power and the validity of collective consciousness, in my opinion. If we are of the opinion that we're all energy, which I think we can all agree on, that we are all interconnected, then there is no veil, to Andrea's point. But there is a way for us to tap into that collective consciousness. Now, there are so many of us that are sensitives or we're energy healers. We all have a different way of tapping into that field. And we all have different ways that we use it. For me, I use it to help people heal or learn about, their own gifts and whatever that looks like. Some people see spirits physically. Cody and Satori are channeling this in a way that's energetic. And they're giving validity to the fact that they know exactly what's going on all the time. We know the spirits at the house know exactly who's coming on the property before they've even pulled into the gate.
Right.
So
and I can attest to that. That's happened over and over again with me. And it's happened with Jonathan too.
Yep. So
They
it's
know
like
we're on our way.
This is such a big thing that they do in the paranormal field, but it also is it's like from a quantum perspective, quantum entanglement, we're starting to be able to have instances where we can see the power of collective consciousness in action. That yes, they know exactly what's going on, and you could be in China and I could be in St. Augustine. It doesn't matter. There's an energetic connection that runs through all of us at all times, no matter if you're living or you've passed on. It doesn't matter.
So we have to watch what we think too.
Well, how many years do I have to say that before people begin thinking about that concept? Be careful what you put out into the world. Master your own mind and decide what kind of person you want to be. I'm not asking anybody to believe this. I don't care who believes this. I'm asking for people to show us
just be nice
modicum of human decency.
And that's, you know what, Andrea, that's what I said to the person online the other night was, look, if you don't believe, that's fine. I'm not asking you to believe. I'm just asking you to not armchair quarterback and try and disparage these two people who you know nothing about. And you haven't been in the room with them to see what they're doing. You don't want to believe? That's fine. But don't disparage them and debunk, oh, I caught them because Cody was caught doing this 10 years ago. Yeah, so what? There's a million other people that have had paranormal experience with has been tapping. He's not claiming to be the first.
101.
Right. He's not. No one is claiming that they're the first people to do this.
People have been asking for knocks and taps for 200 years.
Right.
Okay. And I've asked for them and I've got them on rare occasion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, if I drink enough of this bourbon tonight, I'm going to hear taps on the wall. Don't worry about it.
Well, and I can also attest to the fact, sleeping at the farm as often as I have at the stage of the game, there's a lot of tapping that goes on in that house. When you're the shiny new penny, it's constant. Like you have to get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm so glad that you know that I'm here and that I know that you know that I know that you're here, but I have got to get some sleep. It's not an uncommon thing to get tapping. It's just not common to get the kind of information that they're getting now.
Right.
But that's the beauty of what they do.
And I did want to touch on that, what you were talking. I do want to touch what you were talking about.
Corral that tapping. into something
Right.
cogent.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I did want to touch what you're talking about, Ace. And
Yeah.
no, I don't think, and I don't want to speak for Cody, but I don't think he said he never heard knocking before, Satori. I think
Right.
that's the case. Because
Right.
I've had knocking with Cody before they were even together. So it has
Yeah.
happened.
Of
Right,
course.
so people think that's a gotcha moment. He did it beforehand.
Exactly.
I don't think he ever said he didn't have it beforehand.
No.
You know,
Maybe.
now it's a controlled method. It's
Right.
controlled.
And-
They can touch and it happens automatically. Before it was more of a random thing.
And you know what, Mark? One of the things that made me really not really understand it as much as I thought I understood it was you, myself, and Ken were at the not the Conjuring House, the Pain House 2 months ago. Cody and Satori stopped in, and someone challenged them. It was almost like they were trying to test them, but we were sitting in that living room and we were talking about the paint colors, and they were asking. Ken, remind me, is it Sarah? Sarah is the mom, Clara's the daughter. They were asking Sarah about the colors that were originally in that room. And we heard knocking, and it literally was so weird. I was standing right next to Satori was sitting in a chair. Cody was behind her. You heard no knocking when they asked questions until they touched each other. He put his hands on her shoulder, and you started hearing tapping. And then he took his hands off, and you didn't hear anything. And then he put his hands on again, and it started again. And that just told me, like, and again, I wish my co-host Scott was here tonight. But when we were at the Conjuring, at the farmhouse, I'm sorry, Andrea, because I don't like to call it the Conjuring House. I like to call it the farmhouse.
Farmhouse.
An Arnold homestead.
Right, exactly.
Always will be.
But when we were there, Cody and Satori took Scott up and they held hands with him. And I said, what did it feel like? He said, it was like, you know, when your hair stands up on your, he said, it didn't feel like an electric shock, like it hurt, but I definitely felt an electric current going through my body when they were holding me and asking those questions. And I could feel the knocks from all around the room. And then as soon as they let go, he said, I didn't feel it.
Right.
Do you remember that same night when we had them touch the soles of their shoes together? Were you there for that?
Yes. Yes.
I had them sit back on a chair, lift their feet, and touch the soles of their feet together. Nothing.
Right.
As though they were insulated.
Yep.
With their feet still up in the air, she reached and touched his knee. Tap, 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 tap.
Right.
Tap. So this is a synapse.
It's electromagnetic
It is.
energy.
The explanation for this, it's not magical.
It's right
It's not
here.
magical.
No, it's
There-
not.
there
It's
is
called
some kind of
pneumatics. And
synapse.
it's a channeling of energy.
Right. So
Pneumatics.
the other
And
point,
there are a lot
the
of
other point-
pneumatics in this world. A lot.
Right. So the other point, Andrea, let's say 11 years ago, for whatever reason, Cody had this ability. Because I've been on cases with him, thinking back, we've gotten tapping. So let's say, for the sake of argument, there's something about this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Satori comes along, makes a connection with
Right.
him, and amplifies this thing.
Yes.
That was
Bingo.
already there. Right, exactly.
She's the amplifier. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Okay.
She's the amplifier, and everybody needs one.
All right. If this place that we inhabit, Earth, is soul school, where the test precedes the lesson, and we have to find our way out of the dark and into the light, let me suggest this, that most pneumatics have had near-death experiences.
Right.
They've already, in some way, shape, or form, begun to cross. They are recognized by spirit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are communicated with
That
by
makes sense.
spirit and may have even been sent back to fulfill a specific purpose in life and not allowed to cross. How many stories do we need to hear about that to give it credence? I think, this is my own personal opinion, I don't care who agrees with me or not, I think that it is the unique combination of someone who has had a near-death experience coupled with someone who is absolutely pure of heart, that combination, that's the magic, is the relationship. And what it unleashes is pneumatics, which is a channeling of energy. Pneumatics. If you want to be in soul school, you got to do your homework. That's the word for what has been expressed for thousands of years of people who have this ability and who are able to communicate directly with spirit. Cody and Satori just happen to be the new kids on the block that can do it.
They have the perfect connection.
Yep. Yep.
Well, but how many lifetimes before this particular lifetime have they been doing this? Or
Right.
how many lifetimes have they?
If any.
So more, I just wonder, at that point, the souls recognize each other. Happens to us all the time.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
when
like you and me, maybe. Yeah.
Right. But I'm also your amplifier. Same kind, like everyone in that kind of a relationship, there's an amplifier and a grounding line, like energy works in general, right? With electricity. But I think when two souls, and Cody said it too, when two living energies connect, certain living energies, these kinds of things can occur. But I just, the metaphysically side of me is like, well, how far back does that connection go for it to now be what it is now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I'm going to speak out of turn again. Here's a little story, and Annie, you can wrap this whenever you need to.
Okay.
Because they did a little research on this themselves. And the day Cody DesBiens died on the table, 14-year-old Satori Hawes passed out in her 8th grade class.
Really?
A lot of people know that.
Wow.
So I may catch hell for telling that story.
Yeah, you might catch some hell for saying that, but
they checked it out.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting too. On Sam and Colby's show, the question was asked, can anybody else do this? And the answer was yes, others can.
Right.
So who are these other people? Do they even know it? That's the question.
Mark and I have been holding hands for a year. Nothing.
Or are they keeping it a secret because they, just like Cody and Satori, for 3 years that they kept it a secret, are afraid of the backlash of, let's face it, the internet, of toxic people on the internet.
Yeah.
But they have that spiritual connection even before they met each other.
Yes, they did.
So
they did
that way.
And there's no explaining that, but this is, I would like to close out on, a very specific point. Paranormal investigation should not be equivalent to character assassination.
No.
And unfortunately, in this field, there are far too many people who won't even share their evidence because it's going to be shredded from outside the field. It's going to be decimated from inside the field.
Yep.
There could be a whole litany of reasons why: jealousy, possessiveness, anger. They've got a show, we don't, yada, yada. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Here's the thing. There are two important questions that we must grapple with as human beings. Is there something beyond our mortal existence? Yes, there is. I know this. This I know. I don't care who buys into my knowledge. This I know. Are we alone in the universe? No, we are not alone in the universe. This I know. Now, I'm not here for everybody. Cody and Satori aren't here for everybody. None of us are here for everybody. But if we can be a point of light in the darkness, if each one of us can touch a few hearts and open a few minds and help us all grapple with our own inevitable death, help us all deal with the idea that our energy will transform it will not cease to be. There are going to be people who see stuff like this and it threatens or even fractures their own belief system, and they become very defensive and they become very standoffish and they don't want to hear it, and it is adverse to everything that they believe in. I get that, but that is not an excuse to take a crowbar to a gravestone or hateful, vitriolic words used as weapons to two of the kindest, most gentle, most loving people that have ever walked on this earth. And with that, I have said my piece. Ken, close us out.
Well, first of all, thank you to everybody who came by tonight to give us your own testimony on this. And for those people who are watching it, I think Andrea summed it up nicely. Maybe this is for you, maybe this is not for you. But we all do this knowing that you'll love the backlash. You may give us some backlash. We don't care. We're not going into hiding on this because it's not our reality. It's not your reality. It is the reality. These things happen. I don't know. I am past the point of even asking why.
Yeah, me too.
They don't know. We don't know. We'll still experiment. We'll still test.
Mysteries of the earth.
But please,
and
don't drive them into a place where it's just not worth it to share anything with you anymore.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's going to happen because we're talking about human beings here, not dancing monkeys, not performers, not scam artists. Whatever happened, Jacqueline put it nicely as well at the beginning of the show. They didn't ask for this.
Right.
They didn't develop it. They didn't plan it. There's nothing out there to try to scam you out of what? They're making no money. They're charging nothing for this.
Right.
If you go to their website, you can donate to their museum. You know, whoopee-doo. They do appearances. They don't do this at appearances. So they've done a great job of setting up guardrails for themselves.
Well, you know, they're two of the youngest people that work in this field, and they're two of the most mature people that work in this field. And, you know, all credit to their parents. And, you know, a shout out to Jay for his wonderful video that he released yesterday or the day before. And, you know, I made it through the whole entire 2 hours without dropping the F-bomb once. Although I got to give Jay some credit for some, you know, really creative language that he used during his, and he's her father and I get it. But
Jay
I kept
started
it
off
clean.
measured, but
Yep. I kept it clean as the best I could. Ace, you know, when I come on your show, that's not going to be the case again.
No.
You realize that. Okay?
Absolutely. And we would expect nothing less.
I love you all. Thank you. And, you know, every week I close out the show with, you know, be the beacon, be the light you seek in the world. And I can't think of a better example of the light than the group of wonderful people that joined me here tonight. And especially Ken, thank you for co-hosting with me and running the board and everything that you did. I love you all. I'll see you next week on World Awakening.
Love you.
Good
Love
night,
you. Thank you,
everyone.
Andrea. Thank you, Ken.